What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. Today we're going to be going over the weekly candle closes, see how everything kind of shook out this last week, what's near support, what's getting overextended, what I think is going to happen. We're going to start with the indexes. We're going to move on to individual stocks that everyone knows and loves. Your NVIDIAs, your Palantirs, your SoFis, I might even take a look at Robinhood, what the hell. And then we're going to be going over crypto. First thing I want to say is, sorry, I haven't been very active. Actually, I've been very active on my X page, which is why I have this here. I'm Risky Ryan Trades right there. So I have been posting things there of value. So go ahead, follow me there if you want more active things. But I'm going to try to be doing this more where I just go over the weekly candle closes. So, for you guys that are fundamental analysts that want to do more with technicals, it might be something that you can just kind of tune into and see, okay, what does Ryan think about his charts? So, all right, well, I'm just going to dive right into it. But before I do, hit that like, comment below if something comes to mind, if there's a stock I don't touch on that you'd like me to touch on. And of course, hit subscribe if you want to see more like this. We're going to jump into the SPY. Now, you've probably been seeing some of those like rising wedge, scary bar chart, trend spider posts where they had, like these things where it's like, oh, and then this, like, oh, well, we're broke out this week, folks. Look at that. So we can stop being scared. Oh, wait. Did we break out? Let's take a look. Yeah, we definitely broke out. So there you go. I mean, we're up. We're into this Gann angle or Gann arc. We're heading up to the logarithmic 1.272. So, I mean, might be smooth sailing up for, next week. I would expect a good 2% on the Qs or on the SPY. So we'll have to take a look at the Qs next. But some other observations that I have here. Look at the volume shelves. Big volume here. Right at the 625 level. So if we were to pop up here and then have a correction down, which I think would be very healthy, I would suspect that we'll probably tap that, maybe even wick down into this box, into this little it's nothing but air there, and find support on the Gann angle. If that were to happen, that's called going on margin in Risky Ryan's world. Okay, you got to add more than you can there, and then just pay it back in the later months, because that's a buy. I'm still bullish going into the end of the year. We already had like this. I don't think people give enough credit to this move because of how fast it recovered, but this was huge. Like, take a look. Just take a look at this. Like, we came all the way down to the 2021 highs. I mean, we absolutely puked, and now we're up and running again. So, which is wonderful to see. Okay, so that's the SPY. Things look pretty bullish going forward. I was getting a little trepidatious as we were approaching resistance here. I also saw some, or on the Qs here. Let's go to the Qs. I was seeing some things I didn't love. On the Qs, actually here, let's go to QQQM because that's what I actually use. Lower fees on the QQQM. Okay, so we found our footing on the 2 Fibonacci level, and we want to go higher. But on the non-logarithmic, we found some resistance here. So this is where we closed at. I wanted to see us close cleanly over it. So yeah, I mean, next week I'm bullish, but this has me feeling I don't know. That being said, like the logarithmic scale looks pretty dang good. We have a decent amount of support to the downside on these volume shelves here as well. It looks like we springboarded off of this to move up to this next level. So Qs are looking pretty good. I'm going to take a look at SCHG because I actually prefer that. And we closed, is this logarithmic? It is not, but we closed over, what is that? The 2.272. Wonderful. Are we on log? Oh, that is log 2. Okay. Wonderful. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think things look good on an index level. Tech, Tech needs to move higher. Tech closed above the 1.272 on the linear scale. Yep, looks fine. SMH had a little bit of a pullback here this week, right? So it's just been running so dang hot. I would not be surprised if we kept pushing higher though. And we'll take a look at NVIDIA, AMD to kind of get a better feel on, because sometimes you can triangulate different charts to see what's really going on. Now the Russell's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at that. Where are we sitting? Look at that, sitting right on a fib. Right on the 786. We're not quite out of the weekly cloud yet. Building up strength on the RSI. So I would like to see us get out of this cloud. I think the Russell is going to have really just an incredible second half. People calling for the market's going to run out of steam this year, and then we're going to go into recession. The Russell never had its chance to run. I don't feel like the cycle's really over until the Russell does its thing. You're going to have your alt season, all that kind of stuff. Speaking of alts, silver had a strange week this week. Only 30 minutes left in the weekly candle close, but this looks like a topping pattern. So I would not be surprised if we come back down to 36.50. But if you are accumulating silver, that is the level to grab some more at. If you're in SLV, oh, interesting. So 786, interesting. So we're on support, but maybe this 33 level on SLV is what you want to wait for. If you're trying to build a position, and maybe you don't need to be super picky and wait for it to come back to support, but so yeah, silver is just it's gonna go absolutely bananas. And I've been saying this before: if you get amazing gains in the crypto market, the stock market, whatever, you have all these growth stocks and they just go to the freaking moon, and you're trying to take profits in the market. Typically what happens is when the market's going crazy, you have super growth stocks like Palantir and Robinhood that have just run up hundreds of percents. But when the market tops, and it doesn't matter if you have Robinhood or if you're in PayPal, the market's going to come down. So it's hard to pull profits out of Robinhood, stick them into, Amazon, and then the whole market corrects 10% and you still are down a whole bunch. I am going to be putting my money into silver and gold when it comes time to take profits. Silver, gold, and healthcare, because healthcare is beaten to a pulp, and it's just, come on. Look at this volume shelf. Look at that. Wow. So let's watch. Oh, that's not logarithmic scale here. Ooh, and logarithmic scale, we're out. So we're already looking pretty good. Maybe on linear scale, we wait for it to get out of this Gann arc, find some support, and then start pushing, maybe close a candle over this. That's when we know, okay, healthcare is ready to turn around. And oftentimes, healthcare is a defensive sector. So if growth stocks are starting to weaken, healthcare starts to get stronger. So if you're looking to take profits later this year, say your altcoins go nuts, whatever, and you want to take, money off the table and put it somewhere safe, healthcare is my favorite because it doesn't seem to get in the way of growth stocks. You can still grow your portfolio really strong. If you put it in gold or utilities or consumer staples, sometimes it can really slow down the growth of an overall portfolio. Healthcare, not in my back tests, it's been pretty good. So healthcare, we're going to keep our eye on that. I'm not ready to really go in heavy yet. I'm trying to, as you can see, I'm trying to rotate into that once my growth stocks have done their thing. Okay, gold, coming back to the 2.618, and looks like we're 30 minutes away from closing under the Tenkan-sen on gold. So that's definitely something to watch. Will we get finally a decent pullback on gold? We'll have to see. I'm going to draw a anchored volume profile here and just see kind of what, ooh, look at all that. Wow. I mean, if I had to guess, that would hold. If it doesn't hold, that's going to be a very difficult level to get above. Wow. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Here, let's draw this back a little bit further just to see. Okay, yeah, so your next major level is down here at 2600. Are we going to see 2600 gold again? No. No, I don't think so. You might, look at this volume shelf sitting right here on the weekly bottom of the cloud. Maybe you see that one day, but soon, maybe the end of the year, but I don't know. I'm a little inconclusive on this. But I like that it's holding 2.618 and it's got this big volume shelf here. So, I mean, this is a really ugly candle pattern. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on that. I mean, that's interesting nonetheless. Okay, let's get into our portfolio here. We're gonna go starting with the biggest gainers today. All right, so actually no, let's start with the big dogs. So let's go with NVIDIA. How's NVIDIA looking? Okay, so we have big jump. We're moving. As soon as we broke out of this, we just started coming straight up to 177. So this area right here is like the final boss here. 177. We bust through that. I'm going to tell you right now. If the rest of this year goes like this, if we just bust through this, maybe a little back test, and then we start to push up and we tag this 2.618, 226, I'm taking big profits. We should not be going up that parabolically. You know what I mean? I doubt it happens that way. And what's more likely is that we tap our head here, bull flag back down to maybe like 156, maybe even these highs, 153. I would not be surprised if that's the way it goes. RSIs are getting a little cooked on the weekly as well. So I don't know if there's going to be enough strength to really take it to that next level. So it may not even try to attempt to really get through that. I know for me, I would not be buying once it hits 178. I would be waiting and seeing, holding. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to sell at that level, but I'm sure as hell not buying there. You get what I'm saying? And while we're talking about this, let's go to AMD and see how those charts are looking as well. So AMD, it's about to hit. It's going to try to get out of this weekly cloud finally. Isn't it crazy the run that it's been on, but it's not out of the weekly cloud yet? That's really fascinating. There's also a little bit of resistance going to be here at 177, but it has closed. Wow. So yeah, it did close above this. What is this? I have my Fibonacci levels all jacked up. This is an old Fibonacci level. It's an old Fibonacci level. I don't know if we should really be using that. Here, let's redraw this. I guess this is like the old one that I was working on. It came up to the 1.272, then down to the 1.382. Do I want to use that still? That's tough. What does the 1618 say? 323? Let's just put it over here, just out of curiosity. Let's just see what it looks like when I do that. All right, how much did it obey? Yeah. Moral of the story is it is closing outside of this Gann arc, which that's bullish, obviously. Yeah, I'll have to play around with that and decide which I prefer to use. And I might even, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. What do you think I should use? Comment below. Should I use the old Fibonacci, from the top to bottom, from the 2021 top down to the 2022 bottom, or should I use the new high and the new low? Because that's pretty subjective, wouldn't you say? Okay, so as far as semiconductors go, let's go back to SMH and just think about this for a second. we're approaching resistance here. NVIDIA is approaching resistance. AMD is probably approaching some kind of level of resistance. So, you know, I'm still holding. I'm not going to be selling necessarily. And if the Qs can continue the performance, then, you know, we could get a surprise. Could get a surprise. Okay. Tesla, everyone's favorite stock. I don't know why. Why do you guys make me buy this stock? It's so painful to hold. All right, so weekly candle closes inside of the cloud. So it has not fallen outside of the cloud. It tried to, bounced off the 786 Fibonacci, and it came back up. So yeah, we're still above this Gann angle that I do think is going to be long-term support. So like if you're bullish Tesla, these levels are fantastic. And you do have like a pretty strong volume shelf right here at 250-ish. So yeah, I'm just holding. I'm done buying. I can't do it anymore. I'm kind of a new like Tesla shareholder. And like it's like I believe in Elon, but man, does Tesla make it hard to hold the stock. Palantir. Palantir closed over a 1.618 logarithmic scale extension. And it tried to get to the 4. I don't really pay a lot of credence to these, you know, full number ones. Okay, so 186. Let me see here. 6. What does that line up with? The Gann? Pretty much the Gann. So I would not be surprised if this thing makes it into this Gann area here, but it might find a lot of resistance in there. I just can't, like, how does it keep going? How does it keep doing this, guys? I did take some profit right here. I reduced by like my position by like 10 to, I think about 15%. I mean, I've been in it since down here, so happy to do it. But yeah, Palantir continues to defy gravity. Meta. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta being held up in the shelf, being held up by the 1.414. It just needs to break up and over like the 725 area before it can really continue out. And ultimately, I want to see it get over this arc. It's a big arc. I would not be surprised if we get up into here and then come down at this arc and then move forward. So I basically measure what's going to happen off these Gann angles. That's my like base case / bear case. And if I go 52 weeks out, we're still getting about a 15% return. So that's about NASDAQ average return. But I think Meta is almost better than holding, you know, the NASDAQ. It has much more upside potential, I think. So cool. Amazon bouncing its head off of this 1.272. This has been a bit of a boss battle, hasn't it? To get up and over there. You know, Bezos, he just keeps on dumping on us. People, okay, quick aside. People that are like, oh, Jeff Bezos is selling. What does he know? He knows that if he sells 5% of his Amazon, he can buy another super yacht. Why wouldn't you? Why do you, no, I'm going to hold. Like, what are you holding for? If you can buy a super yacht, you sell. Right? Like, why do you own the stock? Still, like, if you can buy a super yacht, it's like game over. You won life. Like, what else are you trying to do? Like, I think I'd be depressed, actually, if I was buying a super yacht. I'd be like, well, then now what? You know, like, what do you do then? I guess you go to Epstein Island or something. Not for me, but maybe that's how that works once you get that rich. Okay, anyways, dark. Yeah, we're bumping our head, 236. And then how extended are we from the Gann? So, like, let's say you were to buy right here, go 52 weeks out. You know, the risk reward is better on Meta, I think. So you're only getting 8% if you were to buy today. So if you had to pick one to buy, you know, that'd be the one. Although I think Amazon needs to just go nuclear. I want to see a super pump on this dang thing because it's overdue. It's overdue. Netflix has been showing some weakness. It looks like it's fallen out of bed. We're heading back to $1,000, people. I would not be buying here. Stochastic's coming down. RSI's coming down. No levels of support anywhere near. Yeah, this thing's coming down to 1,000. Geez. You know, I was going to hold until we got up to this 1.618, but I might have to trim here because I don't see any reason to hold. It broke Tenkan-sen on the weekly. Let's just look at the daily. Maybe it's got some like clouds that it's in the cloud. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. Yeah, you almost have to trim there. You almost have to trim and then maybe pick, go cash. And then, if you can pick it back up right here, you pick it up back right here. But yeah, that's tough, man. Let's do an anchored. Let's do one of these guys. This looks ugly. 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 Wow. Yeah, I would expect this to fall to 1,000, and like the invalidation of that would be if you get a weekly candle close over like this 1,300 level, because then it's back over the Tenkan-sen and back over the fib, and then it can continue. So that would lose you out. Let's say that you're 8%, 9%, you would lose 8 or 9%. But if I'm right, you're going to lose 8 to 10%. So yeah, I think I gotta trim some Netflix. Dang. Okay. Spotify's like Netflix. Let's see if something's going on there as well. Okay, yeah. So, but we are finding some support on the Gann angle, so that's interesting. Typically, these move in conjunction with each other, Spotify and Netflix. I'm going to hold my Spotify just because of this Gann angle has been support for long time. Long time. But if we get down, if you get a chance to snap some shares between 600 and 625, that's your entry, baby. That's your entry, because there's a lot of levels of support right there. So I would be, personally, because I have some Spotify, I would be waiting to see if we get a chance to grab some there. But I don't hate it where it is. I do not like that it's under the Tenkan-sen, though. All right, let's take a look at Shark Ninja. Shark Ninja coming up on some resistance, coming up on the all-time high, 122.56. So we are likely going to bump our heads there. That would be my expectation. See a little curling over action happening here as well on the stochastic. So, yeah, do I think it's just going to bust through? No. If it does, and we close a weekly candle over this 122.56, even then I still think that you get a chance to buy it. But you know what I like? If it's 2 weeks from now and we're at the exact same level, but we're up and over this arc, that tells me a lot more. So I'm not going to be buying. I want more Shark Ninja shares, but like, dude, ever since I bought it right here, it's just been like, well, I can't buy it now. I can't buy it now. I can't buy it now. It's like Robinhood. Okay, Robinhood. Let's look at Robinhood. Yeah, good thing I didn't buy now, right? I think we're coming back down to, yeah, we need to touch Tenkan-sen. Maybe come back here. So $91, but I'd probably be buying there. And actually, you know what is probably even smarter? What's probably even smarter is waiting for this to come down and then waiting for it to make a new all-time high. Because at that point, you pretty much have validated this volume shelf as being a level of support. So, yeah. Now, if it just comes back up and goes over 114, I don't know. I might have to like slowly DCA into it, but like it's like The writing's on the wall at that point. It's so hard to buy it like going like that, but I mean, it could definitely do a Palantir. So tough. All right, Toast. Buy. That's a buy. Oh, that's a buy. Looking strong. Looking like it wants to launch to the all-time highs. Let's do this. Oh man, there ain't nothing but net, nothing but air. Be nothing but net. Oh, nothing but net is good too. Okay. Trying to think, is that a bad analogy? Yeah, so this was validated as a support shelf. This is Gann level and that. I'm adding Toast next week. Toast goes on the list. You just made the list. All right. Toast, toast, toast. Toast, toast, toast. Fintechs. Let's look at fintechs. SoFi. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, let's take a look at the daily. Uh-oh. Good. Good, quite frankly. Because we got earnings on the 29th. I would rather see weakness into those earnings, cool off the RSIs a little bit, and then send her right back up to these levels. If that were to happen, if it were to come down, touch the Kijun-sen at $18, and then it were to pop right back up to where it is right now, like $22, you got to buy more shares, even if it's your largest position, even if you're Ryan, Risky Ryan, and that's your largest position. You just got to buy more. It just is what it is. Now, let's say that this thing pukes and it continues to puke. Where do I pick up more shares? Probably like 1570. Yeah, probably like 1570 is where I buy shares again. Yeah, we would have to take a closer look at that. We'll touch base. Hit subscribe and we'll look at it next week. You know what? Because we're going to get earnings on Tuesday. Wow. Hey, wish me luck. I actually have a surgery. I'm not going to get into what it is, but I guess I'm just going to like the last thing I'm going to look at before I go into surgery is fucking what the price action of SoFi is because it's in the morning. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. As if I'm not stressed out enough. All right. So let's see here. Let's go to Honest. Let's take a look. Honest had a beautiful day today, hitting its head right on resistance. I would not be buying here. If you wanted to get out of this is where you sell. But I'm not selling. I think this thing is going to be a killer once the Russell 2000 starts to go. Really, we need to get up over $5 again. I mean, that's kind of like common sense, right? But that's what my charts are telling me as well. DoorDash. I sold my DoorDash. And it pumped. You son of a... this thing wants to move. It wants to take out 257. It wants to come up to like 270. So this might be where I might trim my Netflix and stick it into here. And toast. That sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a damn good idea. That's the plan. That is the plan. Oscar found support right on the point of control. This puppy is not going lower, guys. This puppy is not going lower. Look at all that. 3 weeks in a row bouncing off this level. No, it said no. It said no to going lower. There's only one direction other than down, you guys. There's only one direction other than down. So Oscar's an ad for next week. I like that. CrowdStrike, trying to not fall into the cloud, but you must give in to your destiny. Actually, it's bouncing off the cloud, so maybe it's not its destiny. I just really, really want to buy it down here at 409. I know I'll probably never get a chance to again, but I mean, hey, the RSI is falling, and it just overperformed to be honest. Like, it's just done too dang good. So yeah, I'm if I get a 408, I'm buying it. But till then, I mean, really, to like confirm that it's back on a bullish trajectory, you would want to see it close over like 486. Because then it's up and over this cloud, and it could continue to move higher, probably 554, and then ultimately 610 is kind of what a good take profit is for a swing trade. Nike, did Nike make it over? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's go to the weekly. Oh, Nike closed over the downtrend line. Interesting. Not conclusive enough. You want to see this get over the cloud, really, before you can say, like, all right, bottom's in. Bottom might have been in over here, you know, might have been in over here. $53 seems kind of excessive, but it might not be. You don't really know until it gets up and over this stuff. Zeta, also a buy. Look at that. Look at that. Sending like a cross over the point of control. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Could be heading to $18 next week. That's what I think is probably likely. So what do we got? We got buys next week, you guys. Like, the market seems overheated, but like some of these look great. Zeta looks great. Oscar looks good. Post looks good. DoorDash, like, feels like you're chasing, but like from what I'm seeing, let's just go back to that real quick. I mean, I don't think I looked at linear scale. Even on linear scale, like, it looks like a buy right now. So once I'm done with this video, I'm probably going to sell like a share of Netflix or something, or half a share or whatever, and distribute that into these other positions, because it just seems like the right thing to do. Hims, rise from your grave. Love it, dude. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. I like it. It wants you to buy it so badly. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. That's what Hims is saying to you. I'm fine, baby. Let's keep it going. Party ain't over. So these Gann levels held. This volume shelf held. Hims is a buy. Hims is a crossover buy. Look at that. I like it. I like Hims. Uber holding on for some dear life here. Fell out of the Gann arc, holding on to the Gann angle. You know, I don't think you can't add here, because I think that there's like a lot of safety nearby. But it's just not. This one, maybe you just kind of want to see it build a little more structure. You know, I think that's what I would want to see. Just a little more structure. Did I miss anything? Let's look at Google. I know some of you guys like Google. I think it's woke and gay, but you know, that's just my opinion. I try not to let opinions get, you know, in the way of money, but I feel like when you're a woke corporation, you're letting opinions get in the way of your money. So that's why I try not to invest in them. But hey, look, it popped up over this volume shelf. I mean, that's a good thing. And it looks like I don't have any. Looks like I don't have any Fibonacci levels. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so it bumped its head in the 414, but ultimately it wants to get to 218. Could get there quick. Oh, closed over it. Look at that. Pretty much closed on it. I didn't scale these in perfectly, but that's where you're at. I like it. I think that that's, you know, I don't think you're chasing this stock ever, really. But not for me. Microsoft's kind of been doing a thing, right? This is one of those, like, it curls, taps, and then pumps again. That's my guess. Oh, I need to do my monthly, I think. in order for this to work. Yeah. Okay. My GAN goes way, way, way far back. Maybe it's like a 3-month. Yep. Popped out of there, made it up and over. Microsoft looks good. Bullish chart. Okay. Is there a stock that I didn't cover? Put it down below. I will try to cover it next week. Time for crypto. Crypto is like, if you're not a crypto guy, give it a chance. Especially since right now, at this point in time, at this fork in the road, at this juncture in time, crypto is about to blow the roof off. I still think that the next 2 weeks could be huge for it, but November is going to be huge. Okay, there's so many catalysts. I could make a whole video on it, but there's so many catalysts coming in September and November for crypto and fintechs. So that's why I think I'm going to add a lot of toast, actually, because rate cuts are coming. Oh, you know what? I forgot to look at Shopify. Speaking of rate cuts, because that's also really important. Okay, 3-month is not really what I want to look at. I want to look at the weekly. We are a little extended off of my GAN angle, which I don't love. And we're probably going to run into the 0.886, which let's add that to this real quick. It's 886. Just going to 6. Okay, so 140. I think it's going to have some trouble when it hits 140. Now, let's see here. If the thing about Shopify is it's such a beast, like even buying it right here when it's this extended off, if I go 52 weeks out, we're still getting 10% on our money. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either. If you want it for a 2-year hold and you go 108 weeks out, 68%. So, you know, like if you're holding for the long term and you don't really care about how it does over the next 1 year, buy it here. You know, it's a great stock. I just think that we are going to get an opportunity, and it might be when the price is higher, but it also might be many months later. So, you know, there's opportunity cost with these things as well, which is why I like to measure it off of these GAN angles, because they do often hold. I mean, just look at this Shopify chart. If you don't believe in GAN angles, just look at how it held and was symmetrical to this, came down, and now it's climbing this one. And I expect it to climb this one for years. I think it's going to climb this until it hits $600. It might even continue after that. So, you know, so when this gets close enough to this, where if I measure it out a year and it's 30% CAGR, I buy. It's that simple. Anyways, crypto is like a whole different animal. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is bumping its head into the center logarithmic channel, which let's just take a look at that real quick. I know this chart is a mess. Let me pull out Ichimoku so I can clean it up just a little bit. See these light blue, slightly see-through lines? That is the channel that it has been in ever since its big mega ultra pump when it was like $100. And it's just been chugging along, baby. Now, when it breaks over this, it's fucking on like Donkey Kong, baby. I think that this thing gets to at least 173,000 for this market cycle, and it really could get up to like 300 to like 369 if it just stayed along with this. What's crazy, actually, here, maybe this is a little bit off. Let me just, someone's gonna, you know, I want to get this one right. So let's just lock this real quick. Pop this right here. Down just a little bit. I could probably just move this. Okay, let's lock this. All right, let's get back in there. Okay. So what do we see? We see the top lining up with this fib level at 309. we could get an absolute parabolic move up to this 309, and if it takes longer, I wouldn't be surprised if we like gan out at this 460 level. But I am not counting on any of that. I am kind of counting on it hitting 173. I'm not really interested in taking profits until we get there, because I really do think that between now and November, we're going to get there. At that point, I'm going to look at the other crypto charts and sort of triangulate like how far along are we, because I have certain expectations based on logarithmic Fibonacci's. Right now, I mean, it looks like it could be coming back down to like 104, and that wouldn't be the worst thing ever. That'd be a great entry point for some Bitcoin if you're trying to catch up. Because like, look at it. If you believe what I believe, and you get a chance to buy it like right here, and if it follows this perfectly, and it takes until May, which it won't, but you're still getting 67%, 42 weeks. I mean, you can't get that in the stock market. You also don't get drops of like 50% every once in a while in the stock market either. I guess you do, but not every 3 months or whatever it is in this market. But that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks okay. I mean, it's fine. It's still a bullish chart. It's got a little thin volume from here compared to like down here, but that's okay. I think it's going to continue higher. No rush, though, is the way I would put it. XRP holding this 107 level pretty well. It did come down to touch the linear fib of 0.886, and now it's holding. And this little light gray line comes from the very first high and low ever, and so it is holding that. Once again, and I could make a whole video on this, but my expectations with XRP is we're going to hit at least this area right here. We're going to hit, $8 to $9. I'm going to be selling just short of $8 just because I don't need it to be exactly $8. I'm not going to be selling everything. I'm going to be selling like enough to take off like a good portion of my risk. But that still leaves me a ton of money if it were to come up to like $26, which is what I'll probably be selling right around here. I expect it to probably get to the top of this GAN, maybe wick up into this area and then retreat. So I'm going to be selling at these levels here. Boom, 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 and I'm leaving enough to pay off my house if it gets up here. So like, you don't sell everything, but you don't sell nothing. That is the key to crypto. But right now, it's just the law of nature of the markets. God must punish those who are not faithful right here and who only get faithful up here. They must learn their faith by experiencing a 20% drawdown. It's just is what it is. So that's why we buy support. So we don't need to have faith up here. Now, buying in this area has been kind of tough. And I actually bought today because I have so much faith that it could literally come down to here and I would still probably buy, even though the chart would look absolutely awful there. I wouldn't be selling. I'm just holding this thing because you do your own due diligence with XRP, but it's good. Solana, this is where I told you to buy it. I told everyone to buy it a million times. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I said, okay, it's time. It's hitting the GAN level. It's going to hold that GAN level. And you could have had 40% gains in 5 weeks if only you'd listened to me. But if you were like me, now you only have 32% gains in that amount of time because we're getting a little bit of a pullback here. Not a problem. If you get a chance to buy back at this GAN angle, you got to take it up on the offer because this thing is going to hold. It's going to hold. Look at it. It did exactly what it's textbook. It's textbook. Once it breaks up and over here, we go parabolic. And then, what's funny about this chart, the logarithmic chart? We could go parabolic. We could come all the way up to 2200. And then we could draw down back to this angle. And that's a 72% drop. People will be losing their minds. But imagine for a moment that you buy right now, it gets up to that $2,200 level. You sell 20%, 30% of your holdings, whatever. You make an insane amount of profit. And then you just kind of sit there and you wait for it to come back down to a symmetrical support zone. Everyone panic pukes out all their coins, and then you get to, buy back in and join the ride again. Now, if only I was doing this back here, goodness gracious, we would be very rich right now. But it's still got a lot more to go. We haven't even taken out the all-time highs of 2021, and with the macro environment the way it is, crypto capital of America, whatever, dude, you don't think we're going to bust past these all-time highs and hit some of these Fibonacci extensions? Got to be crazy. Listen, nothing in this life is guaranteed. A black swan could happen tomorrow. But if things just keep doing what they're doing, going the way it looks like they're going, that's what I'm expecting. And listen, dude, you don't need to buy a whole Solana. You put in $100. By the time it gets to this 1.272, it's become like $250 or something like that, right? You sell out your initial and then you ride the rest. You got $150. You ride that up to this, it becomes $300. You sell all that. You turn $100 into $400, $500. Easy as it gets, baby. I love crypto. I do. I love it. XLM. I know you all want to see Ethereum. That's not what you need to be looking at right now. You need to be looking at XLM because this thing, the Fibonacci extensions on this will bend your mind. Will absolutely bend your mind. 17x from here, 18x from here. If we get to the 1.618, if all we do is hit the 1.272, it's a 5x from here. XLM is just and look at the volume shelf. It's just this is the best risk reward in crypto right now. That's my opinion. It is sitting right on the volume shelf. It's sitting right on support right now. I want to buy more of it right now. I should. Yeah, XLM. That's my opinion on XLM. It's the blockchain that PayPal's using. If you like PayPal, you should love this. HIBAR holding up. So HIBAR looking the same. It's right where you want it to be. I don't have volume shelf on this one, but yeah, it closed, or it's 2 days away from closing the weekly candle. I guess the weekly candles aren't closed on these yet, but starting to look pretty good. It's looking pretty good. So HBAR, what do I expect out of HBAR? Something in between XRP and XLM. From here to that, it's like an 11x. So similar to XRP performance is what I'm kind of expecting out of HBAR. HBAR is good. Ethereum, ETH, just like Bitcoin. How funny is that? It's right on the center channel, bumping its head, the logarithmic channel. Could this come back down to like 3,400? Yeah, I mean that would be fine if it did that. It would be fine. So let's take a look at the Ichimokus. I didn't have that pulled up yet. Yeah, so Ichimoku just turned positive, the cloud. So technically, according to Ichimoku rules, this is like good to go. But not a lot of support where it's currently at. So a retracement down to 3,400 wouldn't be that out of the realm, and actually would be a great entry if you get that chance. Chainlink. Kind of ugly, right? We got 2 days to get over this Kijinsen. But the whole cloud and everything is just kind of wonky, right? But as far as if you're trying to pick a crypto, an altcoin that's like gonna be here in 10 years, this one's gonna be here in 10 years. I think you could say that about HBAR and XRP and XLM, but like, dude, Chainlink is like, it's getting its tendrils into everything. Algorand, I bought some Algorand this week, looking just like HBAR and XLM. Go figure. I drew this this curve just because I think it's funny when people do this. What if it comes true? You know, what if it comes true? You could be looking at like an absolute parabolic move. See what you get here. Let's say that it does this and we get up there. That's a 12x, you know? And that just, you know, that's what's crazy about Algorand, because once Algorand is one of the biggest real world asset coins, but one of the smallest cap coins. So it's going to, it's like, it's going to be an established coin. It will be successful. But its market cap is tiny. It's only got a $2 billion market cap. This thing can 10x, go to a $20 billion market cap. That's not even that impressive. And that only takes it to its all-time high. So I like Algorand as well. It feels like less of a guarantee than XLM and XRP, but it's like the upside potential is really huge, and it's been performing. It's given me no reason to doubt it, really. It's just, it's so like not talked about, but I like it. I have, you know, I got a bag of it. FET. This one is sitting right on support as well. Much like all of crypto right now, it's basic crypto's a buy at the moment. This one, I'm really torn if I want to sell all of it this bull run, or if I want to hold it for the next bull run, because I think the next bull run, the big topic is going to be AI and gaming. I think that that's going to be the big one. And this is an AI coin. And so I might kick myself if I sell any of it, be like, man, I was buying FET at 73 cents and I sold it, you know, because it could be like 20 bucks. Who fucking knows, right? I mean, let's take a look at these extensions here. $8. So it could do a 10x. And if it does a 2.272, it's $65. I mean, that would be 100x. So like part of me is just like, maybe one day it's going to hit that. But if it hits $8 this bull run, I'll have to trim off the top, just because like you have GAN and you have 1.618 right there. That's resistance. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, it's trying to get over this GAN level, but it's the point of control. So it's sandwiched between those two. You know, taking a bite of this every now and again never hurt me anyways. Dogecoin. We're going to end it on Dogecoin. Oh, Dogecoin. Actually, we're going to talk about Pengu, because Pudgy Penguins is like my freaking thing, man. I put my vacation fund in Pudgy Penguins, and I didn't tell my wife yet. So we're not going to tell her until it's like, you know, up pretty good. Dogecoin weekly chart looks like Doge shit. Sandwiched between the Kijisen and Tengen-sen. Next week, though, like we'll be above both, and we'll have some support right here at like 19.61 cents. We just got to get over this damn weekly cloud. We get over this cloud, and like we're really game on, because we're pretty much out of this arc. And usually big parabolic moves happen once you can get out of that, because it's got to get symmetrically up to the next level, which is $1.15. Doge, this bull run ain't over in my eyes until like Ethereum hits 8,000 and Doge hits $1. If that's happening and XRP is only at $7, $8, then I guess that's it. That might be it. But like, also, this thing could get up to $1.50, $2, and if you dare to dream, $4, $4 Dogecoin, that'd be cool. So that's where Dogecoin's at. All right, Pudgy Penguins. Time to look at Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins, let's go. It's green and a sea of red, baby. Green and a sea of red. So is HBAR. 8% today? It's got to close where it's got to close, you guys. But anyway, Pudgy Penguins, baby. All right, let's take a look at my Pudgy Penguins trade. All right, Pudgy Penguins. Okay, so right here is where I bought. Why did I buy right there? Great question, because I immediately regretted it. But you can see on the Heikin Ashi candles, We had a Heikin Ashi candle that got up and over the last two. And what that means to me is that there's enough push that like momentum wants to go higher. So I bought. And after I bought, this is what happened. That's where I bought, right there. You see the little circle? Immediately it wicked back down and it fell. But I had a big volume shelf and we had this Gann angle there that to catch it, and I knew that was nearby. And so, and sure enough, it held up. And now, and we had a great run, but we did have a bit of a pullback here. So let's just take a look at the candles, regular candles here. A nice curl up on the RSI, a lot of strength rebuilding. We're pushing back into the cloud. We held these Gann supports. And if we hold those Gann supports, ladies and gentlemen, we're going all the way up to 9 cents. 9-cent pudgy penguins, okay? We're going to 9-cent pudgy penguins. We have to afford a good vacation, all right? And this penguin is going to take me there, baby. Might even have to go to Antarctica in honor of the pudgy penguin. Yeah, seriously, the pudgy penguins, I mean, this is the meme coin. If you want to throw some fuck it, $20 at it and turn it into $100, like this is the one. I think. My vacation fund is not exactly sitting at a very high amount, but still, I mean, you throw like hundreds of dollars at it and it turns it into like $1,000, $2,000. Hell yeah, right? Why not? I can make, a couple $100 reappear in the bank account, but it's not easy to turn $200, $300 into a couple $1,000. That's what I think this thing could do. Keyword think. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. All right. Now, once again, thank you for joining me this long. If you've been here this long, hit the like button. Obviously, like the video. Hit the subscribe button. Obviously, want to see this again. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, on X, Risky Ryan Trades. Thank you for joining me. Risky Ryan, out.